So for today, we're starting out with 2.3.3. So 2.3.3. So a week from today will be the final, 1 week from today. So that's why I handed you the study guide now. So you have an entire week to do working on that study guide. We'll even have some class time to work on it. So tomorrow will be a lab. So this is a really fun lab. We get to cut mushrooms up, and it'll be really fun. What do you think the answer is to that? Yeah. And then Friday the 30th, it's going, so the next 3 days, so Friday, Monday, and Tuesday, they will all be work days for science. So for the first part of the work day, which will be on Friday, you'll have your homework to do. So page 86, 89, and 93. Page 86, 89, and 93. So those are the lessons that we've gone over the last 3 days of science. And then you'll have a worksheet to do over lesson 2.3.3, which is the lesson we're doing today. And that is found in your lab manual. What was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, so if you would like to check your answers of your study guide, I put every single, I put all the answers to the study guide questions in here. So if you are wondering if you are getting them correct or if you're getting them incorrect, you can go on Google Classroom and check to see if you are getting the right answers. You can check to see if you're getting the right answers. So this is why I'm not letting you use the study guide on the final, because you're going to be able to see all the answers, which means you are going to be able to study and be able to equip yourself with what you need to know for the final and know if you're doing everything correctly or not. So I would recommend making flashcards. So we are going to have 3 full days in class to be able to study. So I'll be here helping you guys out studying. You can work on your own, working together. And then I think Tuesday, I'm going to have a Science Jeopardy day. So we're going to be playing Jeopardy with all of the stuff we're doing in science. Yeah. So you'll, yeah, the last day before the test. Evan. We played Jeopardy, Math Jeopardy last year in my classes. You remember doing that? So, like let's say adding and subtracting for 100, adding and subtracting for 200. So it's not something that'll be graded. It'll just be another fun thing to kind of test your knowledge on if you're understanding the content or not. So I'll be making that up in the next few days. I'm working on the exam right now. So yeah, everything that you're going to need to know will be in your study guide. So in that study guide, it will be on your former tests. So make sure you look through those former tests. If you threw them away, I apologize. That's tough luck for you. Hopefully one of your classmates saved it so you can look through their tests and you can study off of theirs. And then, oh yeah, and then the word search. So everything on the word search, which I'll hand this out here in just a sec, everything on the word search, front and back. So one of them is all the vocab words from Unit 1, so pages 1 through 56. All the vocab words are on there. And then on the second one, viruses, bacteria, archaea, fungi, that was Unit 2. So that's the one we're going through right now. And that's all the vocab words from lesson, from pages 57 to 93. So those are all the vocab words that are going to be fair game, and that will be within the matching section. Yes, Madeline.
Is that going to be on our text?
The vocabs. Yeah, so the reason I made it into a word search, so you can get familiar with the words, and then also so you have a list of all the words that are going to be on the final. So I didn't make just because before I would put them on a study guide. I don't know if you guys remember my study guides last year. I would just give you a big list of all the words and then tell you to write the definition. I wanted to change it up a little bit this year, put them all into a word search, and then if you want to go through, look at all of those, write down the definitions, put them on flashcards. Everyone likes doing something different, so just changing it up a little bit. So all of these will be within matching. They could be in, so I don't know if I said this on the video yet, but half of your points will be, or half of your questions will be multiple choice. 1/4 of the questions will be short answer, and 1/4 of the questions will be matching. So, and there will be extra credit sporadically through the test. So kind of like how I had the taxonomic categories. So I would say, list how many taxonomic categories are there? And you would say, there's 8, Mr. Doomer. And then for extra credit, list out the 8 taxonomic categories in order. So, yep, the little catchy tune that gets stuck in your head. Yep, so, and I'll play that. That was my phone. That's a, I'm going to be playing that song here during our study time, and I'm going to be giving you lots of tools on how to study for this so you can ace my exam, because I know you all are going to do great on it, because you guys have all been doing really well so far this quarter. Any other questions before we get started? Yeah? They're being weird?
Yeah, really.
Okay.
I hear the steering thing.
Any other questions before we get going?
You're like, I can't hear right now, but once I put these on, then I do it.
Okay, so let's get started. So today is Wednesday, October 28th. So it says no homework on there, but since I just handed out those study guides, whenever you're done with anything throughout the next week, you can start working on studying for the exam. So if you say you have nothing to do, I'm just going to hand you the exam and let you start taking it. So none of you have nothing to do during work time. You can study for this exam because that study guide is 24 pages, 12 front and back. So there's a lot of information in there. Okay, so let's click on this PowerPoint. And remember, some of the stuff in the study guide already, you guys have already done. You've done some of those exact study guides already that I've handed out on other study guide days. Yeah, so it's not actually a full 24 pages that you haven't seen before. All right, so we're on fungi, finishing up the lesson. Let's go through here. I don't know why I did it like this. Earthquake drill. Okay, we just had an earthquake drill. That's why I had to pause. So we just had the earthquake drill.
Hey, YouTube, we had
Earthquake drill. Okay, so same thing that we've been doing all week. So you guys are going to start out the first 20 minutes of class, starting out with your notes. So so lesson 2.3.3. So first off, read the lesson. So pages 90 to 93. Pages 90 to 93. So what do you include in your notes? Vocabulary, and then the objectives. So there's only one vocab word. So that's kind of nice. Only one new vocab word. And then you have 3 objectives. 3 objectives. You're listing, I think, benefits and negatives of fungi. Is that what it is? Benefits and negatives of fungi. And then the third objective, I'm forgetting what the third objective was. I'll have to look in my book. So go ahead. Timer starts now. We'll start back up in 20 minutes. All right, 20 minutes is up. So let's continue on taking notes here. So I have a few things that you'll need to add, but hopefully you got everything added in from vocabulary to objectives. So some of this is going to be review because this is essentially just going over everything that we've gone over with fungi already. So that'll be good. So one question I have for you, this will be a good question to add to your notes because it could pop up on your final. So why do leaves disappear after a long time? Why do they disappear after a long time? Why don't they just stay on the ground? And why don't we have just massive piles of leaves that never leave? Caleb? They decompose, correct. So I have a little image of a leaf decomposing here. Yes. Well, yeah. And that's from fungi. Yeah, this is over I think a month. It's like 20 to 30 days. I can't remember. And yes, it is sped up.
I wonder if I have mine. Is this an overview or a clear side view?
This is coming in from the top.
Okay.
Yep, so looking at it straight on the ground.
It looks like it's pushing it.
Okay, good. And you're gonna start to see actually some roots.
Whoa.
Yep, there we go.
Whoa.
I really need a new light bulb. It's really hard to see, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It shows this on a side view.
Yeah, it's better when I have
At first, I
that.
thought that was a lemon.
Maybe it's a cross section of, I don't know. It could just be roots coming up from, I actually don't know. I didn't make the video, so I did.
You look like the roots were down.
I know it did look like that.
Because I saw the worms were just sitting there for hours.
Right. Okay, so the roles of fungi. So this was one of your objectives that you guys probably got. So the role of fungi. So one of the roles of fungi is to balance ecosystems. So if you didn't get that one written down, make sure you get that one written down. So one of the roles of fungi is to balance ecosystems.
So they can't be too much then.
So you don't have a bunch of leaves just piled up. So if we had leaves that would never decompose, our world would be full of leaves right now.
Okay.
Without fungi, without decomposers, we would have so many leaves that it would overpopulate the earth without fungi. So fungi, they balance our ecosystems.
I mean, someone could just pick up a dog really stupid idea, like somebody just take for it being dry, all over the years, hardly out much of it, they just lie on ice.
I mean, you could, but you would set a lot of other things on fire. But a controlled fire, yes, a controlled fire. So another role of fungi is they colonize most habitats on Earth. They colonize most habitats on Earth. So what does that mean, them colonizing habitats on the Earth? What do you think that means? Yeah, Ellen? Yeah, they're a part of habitats on the Earth. And that's all habitats, even in the ocean. Even in the ocean, even in like Antarctica, where there's not a lot of plants up there, what would fungi feed off of in, let's say, Antarctica, where there's not really a lot of plants? You guys think of anything? Yeah, Madeline? So like of a dead, yeah, a dead animal, yep.
Probably they're really, really hungry. They'll get bored and start eating ice.
They wouldn't eat ice. They wouldn't eat. How about, let's think of in the water. Let's think of in the water, because that's where more of them are going to live. You're not going to see a lot of fungi in the actual ice because there's not a lot to feed off of unless it's a dead animal. Jaden, what are you thinking of? Yeah, in like the barrier reefs, yeah. So some of it would be like phytoplankton. They would feed off of phytoplankton. They would feed off of lots of other things that are in reefs. There's lots of different animals, plants that are in reefs, even in those colder areas, colder waters. Yeah, Jaden? Yeah. Yes. Yep. I don't know where those are. I don't know what part of the world, what part of the ocean that would be in. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, and then the third role, they play a major role as decomposers and recyclers. So recycling nutrients, that's the fourth point. So recycling the nutrients. So when you break down the leaf, they are also taking the nutrients from that leaf and they are putting it into the ground. So plants are able to absorb those nutrients. So the plants are able to get what they need to survive. And then we as not producers, when we eat plants, we are going to obtain those nutrients. We're going to obtain those nutrients from the plants. So very important. I put a little food chan on here. I know it's going to be hard for you to see. I need to get my new bulb. So it starts out with producer right here, Consumer, that's the word I was looking for. We as consumers eat the plants. Brain fart right there. So we as producers, secondary producers, because we eat meat as well. Primary producers, remember, those are going to be animals that eat strictly plants. So you have producers, which is plants. Then you have the primary consumer, which is something that eats only grass and only plants in general. Then you have secondary consumers, that's us. We eat plants, we eat meat. We're not going over tertiary consumers right now. I don't know why, but your book doesn't include tertiary consumers, so we're just not going to talk about that. We're not talking about the other final consumers. And then we have decomposers, so that's our fungi. So as you get up into higher and higher sciences, you will start to learn about tertiary consumers and final consumers as well. But for now, we're just worried about primary and secondary consumers, along with producers and decomposers. That's our food chain. Okay. We're just scratching the surface here. Okay, so I got a little fun Mario GIF here. So ways fungi are helpful. Ways fungi are helpful. Well, first off, they break down dead and decaying material. They break down dead and decaying material. Very repetitive there, but since I have something written down so many times over and over again, I want you to know that decomposers, which are fungi, they are going to break down dead or decaying material. And then they're going to recycle it into good nutrients. Recycle it into good nutrients. And we as humans, we use that. We use fungi with medicines, with medications. We use it with our food. So lots of good that comes from fungi. But with some of the good, there's going to be some bad things. So ways that fungi are harmful. Ways fungi are harmful. They cause disease in plants and animals. They cause disease in plants and animals. They're also going to ruin your food. So spoiling your food. Yeah. Mold, yep. Mold would be an example. Down here, this is athlete's foot. Very common fungal disease that lots of people get, but there are medications to help cure that. Yep, anytime you go into a public shower, make sure you wear flip-flops. Never go barefoot. Yeah, yep, because my slideshow is actually almost over. So how is that mushroom helpful for Mr. Mario there? It helps him get bigger. It gives him an extra hit. So when he runs into the little Goombas and the turtles, he's got an extra, he doesn't die right away. So mushrooms are helpful for Mario and Luigi as well.
The mushrooms are mutated that bounce into mushrooms. They need the places where he's at.
Well, it's an animated world, so there's that too. Yeah, don't look too much into it. That's more fan fiction, fan theory stuff.
Wait, then what was the one up mushroom?
I don't know.
Some extra lines,
it's a different type of mushroom, just like we have lots of different types of mushroom here on Earth. That's just a different type.
What happens if he ate a mushroom pizza?
Shrink, yep.
What happens if he ate a mushroom pizza?
Mushroom pizza? If Mario did or if we did?
No, if he did.
I don't know, he'd probably get massive. No, that wouldn't happen because Mario, when he eats one mushroom and he's already big, if you find another mushroom, it just counts as points. You don't grow at all. But they have a big mushroom now. They have a tiny mushroom. They got all different types of mushrooms now. I'm a big Nintendo fan for those of you who don't know. So I love me some Mario. I love me some Zelda. I love me some everything Nintendo. Love Pokemon. I love and I got into Animal Crossing over the summer. So yep. Yep. So I have a Switch, so I've been getting into all kinds of. So when I was stuck in quarantine, my wife and I, we were playing a lot of Animal Crossing because she loves that game. Yeah, Jaden. Yeah. 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 Go ahead, Evan.
Social Animal Crossing, the thing that has the opening. Got one of those.
Like the exclusive one?
Animal Crossing.
Yeah. So you guys all play? Nice.
It's fun when you get a friend.
Yeah, my wife and I, we just share an island. My wife named it Disneyland. I wasn't happy. She started before me, so I couldn't create my own island. So our island is called Disneyland, and it's Disney themed. So I would have to buy a new Switch, but I don't want to do that. All right, so did you guys get that? Yeah, okay, so since you guys are just loving what is this called?
Among Us.
Among Us.
Among Us.
Since you guys are loving Among Us right now and it's so popular, I put in a couple Among Us memes. Huh? Right? I know. Yep. So the first one says, "Who killed him?" And he says, "It wasn't me." I understand what sus means now because I watched I got hooked. I watched about 2 hours of Among Us streamers last night. And I'm like, what am I doing right now?
Watch Spicy Dice. Watch Spicy Dice.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
It's
James Charles even plays that. I know.
I got into it because I wanted to put in a meme of Among Us and I wanted to make sure what I was putting in was appropriate.
If you
So
played it, you'll find it really fun.
yeah. Okay, so the last thing I have for you of class is just this video going over everything that we've gone over here in the last 3-ish lessons of fungi, and then also talking about bacteria. So just a little review of everything that we've been going over. So it is the end of science time, so if you'd like to, you can get started on your math homework, and I will have this video playing up here. So go ahead, you can start on your math and watch this at the same time.
Are you a living thing?